audio off. You might want to mute it so we don't get some weird feedback. Yeah, I'm going to use that. You got those speakers. Yeah. I think I'm probably less than 200. No, I just hate what? Club Royale and a couple of ice cream cones. I need to introduce you. You might be good. Okay, let's go. All right, greetings. My name is Mike McDonald, and I am the president of Kidventure Camps, and welcome to our live stream webinar of Kidventure's Overnight Camp 2014, Preparing for the Adventure. With me tonight is the director of Safari Overnight Camp Program for a few years now, Kyle Sadler.
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us on our web broadcast. Yes, third year with Safari. Love it. Looking forward to doing my first webinar.
So last night we had the live version, in-person version of this presentation in both Houston and Austin, but we also know that a lot of our campers come from other parts, from China, for example, from Europe and Latin America. So we wanted to give everybody an opportunity to sort of hear about what's about to take place, whether that's session 1, session 2, or session 3, or echo for you. And I think the whole purpose of the presentation is to get both the child, your camper, prepared for camp, having a sort of a sense of expectations of what's going to happen on Monday morning at drop-off, what are some of the activities and the images that they'll see tonight. We'll give them sort of a better feel for what they're about to experience. For a lot of our veteran campers, obviously they know what to expect with overnight camp program, but particularly those kids for it's their first time, we want that experience for your child to be comfortable, less nervous, and so this is an opportunity to do exactly that. And for the parent, it's a chance to fill you in on all the logistics, the specifics, and to kind of prepare you for what the child needs to bring to camp when we're leaving and departure and those kind of things. So we have a presentation. You're not going to have to look at us all night long, which is probably a good thing. And so in just a moment, I'm going to switch over and share my screen to the presentation that we delivered last night. And both Kyle and I will talk about camp, and then at the end of that, we will conclude. The downside of the live stream is that you don't have an opportunity to give us feedback and to ask questions. Hopefully, we will answer most of those questions, but if we don't, please, we're not leaving on Monday. I keep thinking that we're leaving on Monday, but we're actually a week and a half out from session 1. So you still have time, plenty of time, to call us.
Yes.
You
can email me directly if you have any questions. Kyle, Kyle, @kidventure.com. July 14th is the start of our first session. So anytime before that, please send me your questions.
Or you can call us at the Safari Overnight Camp number, which is 512-263-8992. And with that, I'm going to share the screen, and then we will get going. All right. I'm pulling that up right now. And hopefully we've got that on. This is, of course, our 20th year of overnight camp programs. We started in 1994. My background was as a wilderness guide and a climbing instructor out west in Arizona and California. Taught me that adventure is an important part of the lives of everyone. And I think that's something that it's really missing from our kids today. So thus the name Kidventure. And with Safari, it provides our kids with this great opportunity to get away from mom and dad, to get away from the Xbox and the television, to get out to nature and to experience being a kid in an environment, I think, that lends itself to teaching them confidence, to teaching them leadership, to trying new things, pushing their limits. And that's really what overnight camp is really all about. So tonight, we're going to be talking about the following things. We'll talk, generally speaking, about Safari Overnight Camp, which is our 1- and 2-week sessions of overnight camp for kids ages 8 through 13 years of age. We'll talk about Echo, which super excited about in its 3rd year. That's our middle school overnight camp program. We have 1 session for that. It's a 10-day session. We'll talk about transportation, how our kids actually get to camp. And then we'll talk about lodging. We'll talk about meals, what to expect at camp, sort of give you a rundown, generally speaking, about the curriculum and the activities the kids will be exposed to during the week. We'll talk about tribes, and that's how we divide up our kids in groups. And then finally, we'll end with preparing for camp, really the supply list, what it is those kids are going to need to bring with them, what they're going to need to pack so that they can have a successful time there at camp. Okay, so the first thing we'll touch on is Safari Overnight Camp. That's our boys and girls ages 18 through 13, 1- and 2-week sessions of camp, which begins in about a week and a half. Safari is actually an acronym, and that acronym stands for Strength, Adventure, Friendship, Achievement, Respect, and Initiative. And certainly all those things are touched upon during the camp week. I want those kids to have a great time. I want them to experience a bunch of new things, but I also want them to come home, sort of better equipped to be greater in sort of sense of confidence. I want them to have a greater sense of independence, having gone through everything that they went through at camp. I think I'm having a little trouble with the screen sharing. Let me try that one more time, see if I can't make that happen for everybody. Hopefully now maybe I'm getting this on. I'm not totally sure if it's working or not. Bear with me just a second. So I know that I'm having a little problem with the screen share on here.
Okay, so you should be good now.
I think, does it look like it's on there now?
Yes. Thank you for your call, by the way.
Whoever just called to let me know, thank you very much. Okay, so I'm going to kind of continue, and hopefully this will work out. I'm not sure, but we'll give it our best shot here. Okay, I think maybe I have it now. We'll go with that. All right, we're going to go with transportation now. Sorry about that technical difficulty, everybody. So transportation, at Safari we provide bus transportation for all of our kids. We want our kids to go on that. We think it's important because they end up being able to come to camp with all of their friends. The ride departs from Houston first thing in the morning on every Monday of that session at 9 a.m. In Houston, that's Ascension Episcopal Church and School in Houston. That information and that address is on your information in your confirmation packet. At 9 a.m., the bus leaves. So we ask that parents be there really no later than 8:30, 8:45, so we have time to get all their luggage on board. We have time to meet and greet, get the kids settled on the bus, do our hugs and our kisses and our waves goodbye, and then we're gone pretty much for the most part. Then that bus will travel to Austin, and it will pick up all of our kids coming from the Austin area at 12 noon. That takes place at Mr. Gaddy's, which is in the Oak Hill area. It is also where we do our pizza party on the way back. So both the departure for Houston and for Austin is also the same as the pickup place when we come back through on that Saturday or on that Friday for the 2-week session. So keep that in mind. Of course, our buses are all air-conditioned, which is the best part of that. They're luxury tour buses, 57-passenger buses. The kids will need to bring a lunch with them when they come, and we'll eat that lunch on board on our way up to camp. So remember that. And really the morning time is pretty exciting, to say the least. Kids are a little nervous, especially if it's their first time. There's a lot of parents giving hugs. There's a lot of excitement there. We'll be helping out with their bags, and I think I put some pictures up there if they end up coming up to show you what that's like. And then we'll get the kids on board. We'll do our final counts. We'll do our final wave goodbye, and then it's time to depart on that trip. Then we finally arrived at Mo Ranch, which is about 13 miles about northwest of Hunt, Texas. It's a beautiful location. We are located on the North Fork of the Guadalupe River, and pretty shortly right after we arrived, we're getting into our dorms. And our dorms are air-conditioned, really great facilities. We have both girls' dorms and boys' dorms, and they're self-inclusive, meaning the restrooms, the shower facilities, all that are contained in that dorm for the kids. They don't have to travel outside to go to the restroom. They don't have to travel outside their own dorms to go to take a shower. So girl counselors are with the girls in their dorms. Boys are with their male counselors there in theirs, and they're sort of separate entities. Now, they're bunk bed style, so we have a top and a bottom in there. They are hotel style, meaning that your kids will have their sheets, their blankets, their pillows provided for them during their stay there. So there's no need to bring a sleeping bag. There's no need to bring a blanket and those kind of things. If they have their favorite pillow, if they have their favorite blanket, by all means, they can certainly bring those. That's not a problem. So bring those, but keep in mind that all that bedding will be provided for them, as well as their towels, washcloths for the shower. In addition to that dorm room that is where we lodge, outside of our dorm room area is a really wonderful area that we have all this access to, and it includes basketball court, it includes auditorium, it includes ping pong and foosball and field space, and it's a great sort of gathering space for our kids. Before we go to bed, we're hanging out there, socializing. When we get up in the morning and kids get ready and we're gathering to go to breakfast, it's a really nice spot for the kids to sort of start out their day and get together. And put some of those pictures up there too as well, so you can see those. All right, so let's talk about food, because we eat, and we eat well at camp. For the last 20 years, we've eaten at King Dining Hall. It is where we have our breakfast, our lunch, and our dinner, with the exception of a couple nights where we actually eat down by the river and have barbecue. So the dining hall is really cafeteria style. The kids will get, sort of one or two choices for their main course during the evening time and for lunch and breakfast. And then there's always salad bar and sandwich bar. And over 20 years, believe me, I've had the pickiest of eaters. And we do a really good job, I think, sort of making sure that those kids find something to eat, that they eat enough food, that they eat healthy, because we're an active camp program. It's very important for us to eat well, to stay fueled, to stay hydrated. And we've been very pleased with the food offerings, particularly the last 5 or 6 years that we've gotten there at King Dining Hall. Of course, the kids always love the ice cream. There's ice cream for lunch and dinner, and that's always a great thing for the kids. And the other thing that we do at breakfast and lunch and dinner is we restock our water bottles, which I'll talk about towards the end in terms of your supplies, but it's a great place for the kids to pour the ice, get the water in the water bottles so we can stay hydrated and they can drink plenty of water during the week. And so the next few pictures here you see are really of King Dining Hall. These are kids sitting down, having dinner or having lunch, and enjoying themselves. Typically, breakfast is going to be somewhere around 7:30 to 8 o'clock in the morning. Lunch is going to be about noon, and dinner is going to be somewhere about 5:30 to 6 o'clock. That's about right, Kyle?
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right. With that, let's move on to tribes. So, when we have an entire camp of kids and we get up there, one of the first ceremonies or traditions that we partake in on Monday night is what's called our tribal ceremony. And that is when we divide our kids into tribes. And tribes are a big part of camp because there's a lot of pride associated with those tribes. Our kids function in those tribes for a lot of what they do in smaller groups. Of course, they get together with other tribes. Every evening they have a huge event. But the tribes are real important. And with that, I'll sort of turn that over to Kyle and let him talk about sort of that division of tribes and what those tribes are all about.
All right, yeah, thanks, Mike. So tribes, basically, each of those animals, as you can see, we have turtles, eagles, buffaloes, and bears, generally separated by age, of course. Each of those has a meaning, and we start out our first night getting into tribes, meeting your tribal leader, that's your counselor, and meeting all the other campers in your tribe. Each one of those symbols means something, and I'll use the eagle, for example. The eagle is a sign of leadership. It's a sign of courage. So we kind of ask our campers at the very first days, hey, throughout the week, how can you represent your tribe and what it means to be an eagle while you're at camp? So a lot of the kids kind of take that and run off with it. It's a lot of fun. A lot of the time, our counselors will have a certain tribal dance or song that they make up with the kids. And then throughout the week, really, you're doing all your activities. As a camp, as safari, all of us are together, I would say, 90% of the time. Really, when we go to high ropes or we go to archery, things like that, that's when we split up into our tribes. So those are the times when we're split up into separate groups. This year, we have a lot of fun competitions planned, friendly competitions between the tribes, where you can earn things for your tribe. And at the end of the week, we have a really cool surprise, I think, for the campers, whatever tribe wins.
So some of the pictures you're seeing right now are pictures of those tribes, whether they're turtle, eagle, bear, or buffalo, and they really love it. They have a great time with the tribes, and it's one of, I think, the most unique parts about sort of the way we design and the way we structure our camp program during the week. All right, so with that, now that we have our kids in those tribes, they're separated, they know who they are, they're representing one of those animals, let's talk about the events. So pretty much from 7 in the morning until 9, 10 o'clock at night, we are an active camp program. We like to do a wide variety of activities. I want to expose kids to things they've never done before. Many of the things they'll have done before, but much of it is going to be pretty much new to them. So let's talk about that a little bit. One of the important things that we do during the week is ropes challenge course. So kids will actually be challenging themselves physically, socially, mentally, high above the ground in a series of activities we call the ropes challenge course. That might be a zip line. Most people know what a zip line is all about. But we only have a dual zip line where they pick a friend and they get to go zipping about 600 feet through the woods on a zip line. We have what's called the big gulp. And the best way I can describe the big gulp is it's like the biggest swing you've ever seen in your life. And kids are hoisted way up into the air about 60 feet. Of course, yes, they're tied to a rope. And then they release and they swing all the way through. It's probably one of the kids' favorite activities during camp. But there's meaning behind ropes course. And so what we're doing here is we're putting kids in situations where they have to achieve a lot. And what happens is on the outset of that experience, they feel greater about themselves. They've gained confidence. They've done something spectacular that they've never done before. And that's something we love about the ropes course.
Mike, can I real quick?
Absolutely, go ahead.
Real quick, I want to interrupt Mike for a moment because something that I think is funny every year is campers and counselors alike, my fellow counselors in the years past. It's so funny because you get up there. The first question, if there are any campers listening to this, is the first question we always get when we go to the big gulp is, "Hey Kyle, Mr. Kyle, how much weight can that rope hold?" And the first answer we always get from the people that work at Mo Ranch is it can hold and carry 2 or 3 Greyhound buses, so something like 10 tons, so a lot more than I think any one of us weighs. But that's usually the first question. So if you were already thinking that, that's your answer, is a Greyhound bus.
So even if you've had a big breakfast, a lot of pancakes for breakfast.
Big breakfast, you can still handle it.
Okay, so I'll show you some more pictures. The next set of pictures has to do with the riverfront. You know, safari camp would not be safari camp, particularly in the summer, without the riverfront. And we are probably on one of the most beautiful and cool stretches of river in Central Texas, which is the North Fork of the Guadalupe River. Crystal clear water, 30 feet deep at its deepest point. And along that river, we've got a variety of activities that the kids participate in. Probably the most iconic and the ones the kids remember the most, and is sort of a rite of passage at camp, is the slide. And I've got that picture up right now. I don't know if there's a lag time for you, but you'll see it eventually. This is the Mo Ranch slide, and it's about a 60-foot slide. Think of it like almost a roller coaster track where you set a board with wheels down into it and on it, upon which you sit. Then you roll down the slide, and then you are sort of skipped along the top of the water into the river. It is absolutely a unique experience, and the kids absolutely love it. And that is the slide. In addition to the slide, of course, you could never have an overnight camp program in Texas without a rope swing. It's sort of iconic, so the kids love that too as well. And of course, we're swimming right there in the riverfront. You know, when it's 95, 98 degrees, there's nothing better than the cool waters of the Guadalupe. And these are all pictures sort of that we have from there. One of the kids' favorite places to go is a little further upstream, which is called the Rapids. So the water over millennium has sort of carved and smoothed out the limestone in a shallow area there and created these tubs and these little waterways where the kids slide down, and we have a great time. If you ask the kids where they want to go almost any given day, they will almost, a large majority of the kids will always say, let's go to the Rapids. It is a favorite place of the kids, and it's a place that we certainly get to visit a couple times, several times during the week. Of course, we're doing canoeing, we're doing kayaking as well for the 2-week session, and the river is a big part of what we experience at camp. So, in addition to the river and ropes course, we have this sort of game that runs the gamut of the week, of the session. It's called the Safari Challenge. And so we design a series of events. These are sort of team-building opportunities for you guys that make your tribe have to work together in order to strategize, in order to communicate, in order to problem solve, in order to accomplish a goal. And the kids love them. And so the pictures that you see in front of you, if they're up yet, are of some of those games. For example, one year when the kids came down to the river, they found plywood, inner tubes, rope, duct tape, PVC pipe, and a flag. They had to design their own boat that would float to get their team from one side of the river back to the other side, and it was a blast. But more than that, it was an opportunity for our campers to learn team building, to have to work together to communicate, to problem solve. And these are valuable skills that we're trying to teach our kid at camp that they can take and utilize in school and in their daily lives as well. And these are all pictures sort of from those activities. You'll notice in there we have sand volleyball court where we have play a game the kids love. We also travel and we do a hiking trip to what's called the Indian Middens, where the Native Americans that lived along that riverbank actually cooked their food in natural limestone grottos. So we do an environmental program there. The kids will look for arrowheads. It's a fun time. And then finally, our evening party and events. So every night on your agenda, if you've looked at that already online, you will notice that every evening has a sort of a big event. It's an all camps event where all tribes get together. And there's a variety of those during the week. One of those might be Rainbow, which is a favorite game of the kids that we do late at night. Glow in the dark, capture the flag is also a favorite. All our campers running around glowing in the dark. It's an absolute blast. We have the costume party, which I think you can probably see there if those pictures are up. Some of the kids in costume there. And then we also have a dance, which takes place where we all get together. We have snacks. We have carnival games this year. The kids are doing the limbo. We're doing line dancing. It is an absolute blast. And that's how we finish out that week. Usually that's on the last night, I think, of the safari session. So every evening, sort of prepare for a party or prepare for a big event. Certainly fun for the kids before they go to bed on that evening. And that can kind of concludes safari. Anything to add to that, Kyle? Do you want to talk about with regards to the safari overnight sessions?
No, I think Mike pretty much summed everything up. Otherwise, I mean, we're just looking to go out and have as much fun as possible. Looking forward to meeting all of our new campers as well as any returners, of course. Like I said, if you have any questions, always call our office or email me at kyle@kidventure.com. But no, we're just going to go have a blast. So look forward to seeing you there.
Okay, with that, let's talk about Echo. Now, Echo is sort of the older version of Safari. It is for middle school kids, 13 through 16 years of age. I know there's an overlap there, so you can be 13 and go to Safari, or you have the option of going to Echo 2 as well. And Echo was really an outgrowth of a lot of kids sort of aging out of the Safari program, but it was also an outgrowth of Leads, which is a day camp program that we also run here in Texas, which tries to foster leadership through adventure and community service. So Echo is a lot different than Safari. It takes place not at Mo Ranch, but at Camp Eagle, which is located about 45 minutes west of Mo Ranch. It is a 10-day session, and we travel up just like we would for Safari on those luxury tour buses. We're located along the Nueces River. It is absolutely beautiful, 1,600-acre property there. And the week is really geared a little bit more towards high adventure. So we are participating in a variety of activities like rock climbing, like Sherpa Trek, like hiking and backpacking. We have kayaking down the river. All these things have been designed to provide a little bit more heightened adventure for the kids in hopes that they will become greater leaders and sort of learn some of those skills and tools. In addition to that adventure, we also perform 2 community service projects during the week. So last year, for example, our kids went into the town of Rock Springs, and they helped refurbish and work on an elderly home that was there. And the mayor of the town, believe it or not, was so impressed with our kids that the mayor brought them over to the city hall of Rock Springs, treated them to lunch, and the newspaper came out. And I'm guessing not a whole lot goes on in Rock Springs, but what we did was certainly enough that it was noted by the mayor, and we got in the paper, and the kids thought it was one of the coolest things in the world. But at the end of the day, that community service project and the others that we do help teach those kids the importance of giving back and the true importance of being a leader. And that's one of the parts of Echo that I think is so very important. So, like Safari, we are divided up into tribes. Those tribes are very different. Rotag and Taima, Marla, and Chashchunk are those 4 tribes that we have there, and those kids are also divided up the first night they get there. Let's talk a little bit about the activities. Waterfront is also a big important part of what we do there. We have incredible waterfront opportunities for our kids. When that picture comes up and the lag time ceases for you, you will see what's called the Wet Willie, which is a huge duo slide that goes into the river. Total blast, by the way. The kids love that. High adventure activities include a big gulp, kind of like the one at Safari, but that one has 3 people tied to it. And new for last year, some of you guys who are returning know about this, but I'll tell all of you guys that have not been there before. We now have the longest zip line in the Southwest United States. So we will actually be zipping almost a mile, and it's 5 wide, and it's absolutely positively one of the most exhilarating experiences you will ever encounter. Kids get to travel 50 miles an hour on a zip line on their belly, and I can't tell you how much fun it is. It is certainly a highlight of the week for the Echo kids there. There's some more pictures I'll be throwing up right there, including more waterfront pictures. Community service pictures, so you can see some of those. The leap of faith at the end of the Sherpa Trek is always a favorite of the kids too as well. They really love that. All right. Now I'm going to go on and talk about our cabin and our accommodations there. We don't have dorms at Echo. We have cabins. So we have boy cabins. We have girl cabins. Counselors, male counselors are in with the boys. Girl counselors are in with the girls. They're really neat log cabins. We love them very much. They're bunk bed style as well, with storage units in there. Provides our kids with great room. Each of them has a large porch as well. Kids like to hang out on the porches at night, talk and converse before they head off to their respective cabins. We have our own sort of dining hall. We call it Mikasa. And so all the food just for us is prepared there. There's couches, there's lounges, there's music in there. It's really a great place, particularly for that age kid, that middle school age kid, to hang out and feel important and feel cool. We love it, they love it, and it provides us with a great opportunity to socialize, which I think is really even more important, particularly at that 13 through 16 year of age. So what you're seeing right there is that Mikasa. That's the sort of hub for us, if you will, where we eat our meals, where we hang out and listen to music before bed or maybe early in the morning.
They have the best food there. Just saying.
They do have great food. We love the food there, and they do an excellent job with those meals. Like I said, boys and girls cabins, bunk bed and storage, separate shower and restroom facilities, probably about, I'd say, about 100 yards away. So we walk down the trail, and then we have, the boys' restrooms and shower facilities, and then girls' restroom and shower facilities as well. The next set of pictures are just going to be pictures from Mikasa and from the river. Give you just even more idea what it's like there. The evenings are very cool for us. The days are warm. We're very comfortable there and really have a great time. So with that, let me talk about your team. So by far, we think the most important part of your child's, or if you're a camper, overnight camp experience with us, isn't the zip line, it's not the meals, it's not the cabins, it's your counselors and directors. And at Kidventure, I think we have assembled really the greatest group of individuals and subsequent team that you can ever imagine. One of the hallmarks of Kidventure in general is that we interview an older counselor and director. The vast majority of our team are either certified teachers who obviously have their summers off, or they're college education students or related fields. They want to make a difference in the lives of kids. They're already trying to do that in life, or they're doing that in life. We simply give them this really great, fun opportunity to do so in the summertime, where they get to let their hair down, create great positive relationships with our campers, and help those kids move forward in life. And I couldn't be more pleased and more proud of that staff. Kyle has been with us for several years. Christy, who you see in the front in the yellow tank top, is the director there of the ECHO program. And the rest of the counselors you see there are really hand-picked. I mean, Kidventure has about 320 counselors and directors working for us across the board at our 22 camps in Dallas, Austin, and Houston. The individuals that you see in that picture are hand-picked. So they are really the best of the best. And so you're getting a great opportunity and access to really talented and passionate people. That's what we're most proud of. As I said, Kyle's the director of Safari. Christy, the director of ECHO. They are an all-adult team. They are fun, crazy, but they are also very professional. All of them are first aid and CPR certified. All of them have extremely clean background checks nationally and yearly. And all of them are experienced with us. They know what they're doing, and they're motivated to make that opportunity with your child first and foremost safe, and secondly, memorable and meaningful. And that's the team. So the final thing that we want to talk about tonight is preparing. I keep thinking that we're leaving on Monday because we're having this presentation tonight and the ones we did last night, but we actually have about a week and a half till the session 1 begins. So you have time. So my advice to you, and I know a lot of kids are already packed and they have their suitcases by the front door, if not in the car already. If you've not done that already, take some time before the last minute to get ready for camp. And what I'd like to do right now is sort of go over that supply list for you. And Kyle, if you want to jump in at any moment, I'm happy to hear what you have to say, so that you have really good firsthand experience with all these things. But first and foremost, we want our kids to pack their stuff in a duffel bag. Some kids I know bring a trunk. That's fine. You don't have to have one. Make sure it's something that your camper can carry themselves. Okay. And remember, you're probably going to camp for, 1 week, 2 weeks. You're not going to camp for 2 months in Europe. So a couple big giant trunks is probably a little bit of overkill. So think about that. But what we'd like them to have in that duffel bag are shorts, t-shirts, at least 2 swimsuits, a pair of tennis shoes, sturdy shoes like that. If they want to bring a pair of tennis shoes that they can get in the river with, if you want to bring water shoes, that's great too. But I do need a pair of sturdy tennis shoes so that they can hike around. I don't necessarily need them to have hiking boots, and I certainly don't want you to go the day before, buy a brand new pair of hiking boots, and have them break in and get blisters while they're at camp. Tennis shoes will suffice. A lot of kids like to bring the Tevas. That's the sort of water sandal with a heel on them. I'm okay with that. That's not a problem at all. But I do want them to have a closed-toe shoe so that when we go to places like the Indian Middens or we're hiking to the rapids, those kids' feet are safe and they're sort of tucked away in that shoe. If they want to bring a pair of flip-flops, that's great too. Throw those in there. Not a big deal. Don't forget lots of underwear and socks. Bring those and label everything. And you should be great. If I did not tell you to bring jeans or maybe a jacket for colder weather, I would be remiss. But I'll be honest with you, in 20 years, I've never experienced colder weather at camp. But who knows? This would be the 1 year where I say don't bring jeans, don't bring a light jacket, and then we have some freak Arctic thing blow through. Doubtful. For the most part, we're existing in shorts, swimsuits, or a t-shirt. Not like day camp. They don't have to wear the safari shirt. They don't have to wear the echo shirt. They can choose to wear whatever they want to. So that's kind of clothing. Toiletries. We do shower at camp. We stay clean. We brush our teeth. We do all those things that as parents, you want us to be doing. So they need to have their toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, shampoo, soap, etc. That is not provided at camp. Their towels in the bathroom are provided at camp. Their washcloths are provided in camp. But we want them to bring their toiletries, okay? Sunscreen. We use a lot of it. If you do not know how to put on your sunscreen now, you need to practice. You have a week and a half. So I want you to learn how to put on your sunscreen. Yes, we'll get your shoulders up there. We'll make sure you have good coverage on there. But I want you to be responsible for learning how to put on your sunscreen. We start that out in the morning. We usually put sunscreen on again midday. I don't want my kids coming home burnt at summer camp. Wear a cap if you like to wear a cap. It's not mandatory. It's optional. But I always suggest to wear a cap. Keeps that sun off your face and off your ears, and I think it certainly helps out as well. Laundry bag. Bring a laundry bag, okay? When I mean laundry bag, I mean something breathable. Don't do your mom and your dad a disservice and take a hefty bag, put all your dirty and wet, stinky stuff in there, and come home 2 weeks later. No one really wants to deal with that. So it's better to have a breathable laundry bag. You know what? And some kids take a big, giant, oversized pillowcase. That works. That's breathable. We might have a few more of the laundry bags for sale at the bus. You can certainly get one of those, but make sure you bring one that's breathable. Okay, need you to have a sack lunch and a drink for the bus ride up to Mo Ranch. If you are being dropped off in Austin and you can't wait to eat, go ahead and eat. Not a big deal. We'll just remember to remind you to keep that lunch up on the bus and not put it underneath with your luggage. Medication. Certainly, we have our fair share of kids that take medication at camp. If that is you or if that is your child, not a problem. You just need to fill out a medical dosage form, which can be found at our website. And or we will have some at the bus too as well. Not a big deal. Our deal with medication is that medication needs to be administered by the camp director or the counselor. We need to have it in its original container. It needs to be turned in with us with the medical dosage form no later than the day of departure. And as long as we do that, that's great.
And really, this is anything that our campers need to be taking throughout the day. So even if it's something as basic as Advil or just headache medication, something that's taken as needed, we would still like to have a medical dosage form, even if it's only as needed. Otherwise, I think that's
Yeah, and some parents will send like Benadryl as needed. Not a big deal. We also keep some of those topicals, some of those things that we use quite a bit, whether that's calamine or other things like that, on hand in our first aid kits and our medical supplies. So that's there too as well. Okay, at least one water bottle. And when I mean water bottle, what I'm really talking about there is a good sturdy water bottle. And I'm actually going to switch over right now. Let me do that. I'm going to switch back, if you don't mind, to us. And there we go. There we go. So a water bottle, when I mean a water bottle, what I mean is a Nalgene bottle, something that's like 2 liters. The one I'm holding in my hand right now is a great example of that. It's sturdy. It has a large mouth on it. It provides us with a great opportunity to put ice in there, to put water in there. And one of the rituals that we have during camp for breakfast, lunch, and dinner is to fill up that water bottle because I want our kids to be hydrated. We're drinking water constantly throughout the day, keeping our kids hydrated. When they're hydrated, they're healthy, they're safe, and they're having a much better time during the week. So this is the kind of water bottle that I'm looking for. Not the Ozarka bottle, not that small little thing. That's not going to do it. I need something sturdy like this. We usually have a lot of these. I know a lot of you have ordered these, but we will have extras, I believe, at the bus, and you can certainly purchase those if you want to do that there. We'll take some extras with us on the trip in case some kids lose theirs and need to purchase one there at camp too as well. So I just want to drive that home. Okay, costume. We also need you guys to bring a costume for camp as well. We have a costume party that's going to take place on one of those evenings. When I'm talking about costume, it can be as simple as a sheet on a bed and a toga to anything that you want to make it. So that costume needs to come with you as well. And the last thing is the waiver. We sent an email out the other day reminding those of you who have not done so to please sign that the waiver for ELP for our ropes course, and you can either fax that in. That information is there for you in that email, or you can bring that with you the day you drop off, and we'll just need to get that from everybody. And that is the supply list. Any other things you want to note, Kyle, about the supplies?
Did you mention backpacks?
Oh, yeah, I did not mention backpack. Thank you very much. So when you got your towel, and you have your water bottle, and you have your camera, and you have all those things, you really need a place to put those all into. And 2 hands does not do the trick, typically. So please, please, please do your camper a favor, or campers, if you're listening right now, bring a backpack. Set all that stuff in there, throw that thing on your back, free up your hands to go hiking, and you will be a happy camper, literally. So bring a backpack. Some of the things that we don't want you to bring are the following. No cell phones at camp, so we do not allow cell phones at camp. If you want to bring a camera, that's fine, but you can't use your cell phone as that camera. It's time to put away our technology for a week or a 2-week session and get back to the basics a little bit. I know for some of you that might be freaking you out pretty bad right now, but believe me, cell phone coverage there is not very good anyway.
You won't miss it.
And you won't miss it.
You'll be having so much fun, you won't even be thinking about your cell phone, trust me.
You might think you'll miss it, but after about 24 hours, it's not even going to matter to you anymore, because that experience that you'll be having with fellow campers, that human interaction that's taking place, will far exceed any texting messages or emails or Facebook opportunities that you might have on your smartphone device. I know I have to say this, and it sounds crazy every year, but no fireworks, no knives or anything like that. We don't want you to bring that to camp. If you want to bring a book, fantastic. If you want to bring an iPod that plays music that you want to listen to in your free time, great, go for it. Not a big deal. You can certainly bring that. Parents a lot of times will ask me, can I send snacks with my child? Absolutely. You can bring snacks. That's not a big deal. I will warn you, though, that we are in the wilds, so to say. And so please make sure that you have those snacks, whatever they are, either in Tupperware or in good Ziploc bags that can close, because in addition to your child enjoying those snacks, there are other critters that might potentially like to enjoy your snacks as well.
Giant bears.
Bears or mountain lions, perhaps. Actually, just joking about that. We've not seen any there. But make sure you keep those protected. Let's talk about communication for a moment. 1 week session, kids. We do not call home. Rather, we email every night. We'll have one email that will come from the staff. We'll sort of sum up the day. We'll send pictures your way and give you a sense of sort of wrapping up the day and what all we did that day. A lot of parents sort of hang on that email, if you will. Don't expect that email until, what, about 10 o'clock?
Yes.
11 o'clock at night, something like that, after we finish our staff meetings and we put your kids to bed. We'll get that email generated and get that out to you guys, okay? We have a Twitter account, which I know a lot of parents very much enjoy. So we will tweet during the days. We will send pictures.
We Vine, too.
And we Vine, too, as well. So you can actually go to our Twitter account, which is twitter.com/KB Safari. It is a private account, so you will need to request access. We'll get that request, and we'll verify that with you so that you're on. So only our Safari parents are actually viewing those images and those tweets. But it's a fun way to sort of keep up with us during the day. How many tweets do you think we do about a day?
A lot. Last year, I mean, we were doing so many tweets and funny Vines and Facebook statuses, I think we just lost count. So I don't know. I'm going to ballpark 20 to 30.
It's a lot of fun, and it gives you guys a chance to sort of feel like you're there in a way and connect with your kids and their experiences there. So once again, that's twitter.com/KB Safari. We will take pictures all week. We have a professional photographer that's coming with us, at least part of that time. We will take pictures there. When we are done with our Safari sessions, we will upload all those great graphics and pictures to one website for your access and your use. We will not charge you for those pictures. You can download those pictures and have access to those pictures. I think that's part of what you should get from a summer camp program is those pictures. So that will also take place with you. If there was ever an emergency at camp or we needed to get a hold of you, rest assured we could do that. If there's an emergency for you and you need to get a hold of us, you will also be able to do that too as well. We have the number to Mo Ranch that's on there. You can also call the office, and the office can get a hold of us. We consider emergencies emergencies. Just checking on your child is probably not an emergency. If there was anything wrong, rest assured we would get a hold of you. We're very conservative with our kids in terms of contacting you and that kind of thing. But in 20 years of running overnight camp programs, I have never had one child go home that was homesick. So whatever that means, there you go. Typically, it's much harder for the mom and the dad than it is the kid. Once your child is there and they're involved in the whole adventure, they're good to go. And so with that, Kyle, do you have anything you want to add about Safari before we depart on our webinar tonight?
No, I think Mike pretty much got it all. Just having fun. So looking forward to it.
Yeah, we are looking forward to it. I want to thank you guys for your time tonight. This webinar or this live stream has been recorded, and so we'll keep it on that page as well. If you know of someone that didn't have the opportunity to access this tonight, I'll just leave it up there as long as we need to so they can go through that. You can go back through that and go to different parts of that. I apologize for the technical difficulties we had with the presentation. I'm learning how to do this. And so hopefully this was useful for you. Give us your feedback and let us know that too as well. If you have any concerns or questions, once again, 512-263-8992 is our number here. And if you'd like to email Kyle about any of the sessions, it is kyle@kidventure.com. I'm Mike McDonald. I'm the president of Kidventure Camps. It's been a pleasure being with you through the screen. And
I'm Kyle. It's also virtually really cool to be with you here.
So with that, thank you guys very much tonight. We appreciate your time. And we will see you guys, at least some of you guys, in about a week and a half. And the rest of you guys will see you in your subsequent Safari session. Thanks so much, and have a great 4th of July weekend.
Have a fantastic night.
Bye-bye. Take care.